Okay, so good evening, guys. Welcome to the next section of Django, which in this section we are going to be looking at how to send data to the database. I think last time we just look at how to render our HTML form, including the static files, including our static files, and I show you how to um, how to render your static files, like all the necessary settings you need to do in your settings. Okay, so this is it. I think it is time for us to start. The class is 9:10, so we just have to move on. And let me just so let me share my screen with you guys. Share the screen. So I just successfully built a new Django application because in our previous class we just come across some issues like that. So I have to recreate new Django app. Okay, I have to recreate new Django app because all the migrations I made in the previous Django project, it doesn't have to show. I have to redo everything again. So that's why I just built a new Django app so that we can just start from the very beginning. So my server is up and running. I just have to open the code inside my Visual Studio Code. So okay, so just like I said before, I create a new Django project, including, and I also create a new Django app. So as you can see now, I don't have anything like static files or any template files because it's just a fresh project that I just started. Okay, so and the reason why I just create a new project is because I want us to all follow along. Okay, I want us to all follow along. So because the previous project I already run some migrations on it, and since that migration already exists, you guys are not going to see anything there. So now I have just created my template files, and all I need to do next is to create my static files. And let me just delete this this folder as that is display. I just have to get rid of it. So delete, move to recycle bin. Thank you. Okay, so after creating my templates and static file, I don't need to redesign those HTML files again. All I have to do now is to just copy the previous designs we have for the HTML and also the CSS we have in the previous project, and I'm just going to copy those and then take it inside our new Django app. So I just have to take the login and also the sign up page too. I just have to copy the files and take them to the static folder. Okay. So inside our new sign up, so inside the sign up there is a folder for the sign up, which is where our project is, and also have the sign up app, which is our app, and we also have the sign up, which is our project. So inside our templates, I'm just going to pass this login and sign up .html, and the next thing I need to do is copy the static, which is all the styles from our previous project, from our previous static project to the static file. There's nothing new here. It's just that I don't need to redesign everything. We already did everything in our previous class, so now I just have to copy those and then pass them in the new existing project we are using. Okay, so there we go. Now our CSS is there, so I can just go inside our views, and then so as you can see, all my CSS and also the HTML files are all there. So all I have to do now is to go inside my app and open views and create the view function that will display our sign up page in the browser, so that we can see that all the settings is well done. So I just have to create a function sign up, So in this case, I'm just using camel casing, starting from the small letter, then the next word is going to be capital letter, the next word is going to be capital letter. Then so here is our function, and I'm going to render what's it called, sign up, request comma sign up sign up sign dash up dot html. Is sign dash up dot html. So now I have just rendered it. As you can see, this is the same as I just wrote it. All I have to do now next is to go to create a urls.py where all my routes are going to be. So we just have to create the urls.py, not inside template, inside my app, urls.py. Okay. So my urls.py is there. Then the next thing I need to do is I'm going to write from Django.urls Django.urls import path. This is just what I need for now, and I'm going to use this path function to pass on my routes, but I have to create and I also have to import the views there from our current directory. Import views from this current sign up that we are working on. Import views. Then I have to create a variable which will take a list, which is url patterns. URL patterns. So it's just a list that we take all my routes. So I'm just going to do path, which is just a function, and inside that path, the first parameter is the name of the route, like the name that I'm going to check inside my browser before it displays. If I just leave it empty like this, once I just run my localhost, it is just going to display. But if I even pass even a single slash or dot there in my URL, I have to do that slash, that dot before it opens. There I'm now going to take the function from my views, which is sign up. Then the next parameter is the name of that route, so I can just give it something like sign up. I can just give it sign up. Sign up like this. I don't need to sign up. It's okay like this. So this is it for our urls.py, and the next thing we need to do is we just have to create our URLs inside the URLs project, our URLs from the Django project. This one is from our app. So we have to include our app.urls in the Django project, in the Django urls.py project. So the next thing I'm going to move on now is sorry, I just have to take this. So I'm coming guys. Okay. So I hope there's no any issue with the urls.py. We are going to the project. We have to include that URLs, our app.urls in Django project, which I'm going to do now. On this bunch of strings, I don't need it. That's why I just get rid of it. So the next thing I need to do here, I have to import include. I have to import include. So comma includes, just from Django.urls import path, and also import include is also a function. So I'm just going to leave this as an empty right. So instead of admin.site.urls, I'm going to pass my include function and include my app.urls, which is sign up inside strings. Yeah, our sign up .urls, that is what I'm going to include in our sorry, I'm having cold, that's why. I'm just going to yeah. So now we are done with our project urls.py. We are going to just jump into our settings. We just have to import OS for us to specify the directory of our templates. And we have to also install our app in the install apps. Yeah. We just have to inside our install apps, we just have to install our app there, which is sign up. That is just what we are going to do inside the install apps. Then the next thing, we have to specify the directories inside the templates. There we have to specify the templates folder we are rendering our HTML from. So this have to do os.path.join. Then inside the join function, all I have to do there is write base there, comma, then the name of the templates folder, which is templates. Okay. Templates inside our base directory. Then Django is going to look for templates, and then is going to render all the HTML step. So once we just run, okay. So that is the only thing we need for now, and we just have to pass our static files too. So in this case, I'm just going to copy it and paste it because I don't want to waste too much of time there. So I just have to copy it from our previous project inside the settings.py. Inside the settings.py. Yeah. So I'm just going to copy the settings for the static files. Yeah, it's just these two lines of code. This is just what I need for now, and I'm going to just go back to my Visual Studio Code. Under static URLs, I'm going to paste those two lines of code. So static root is going to take the static files, and static files direct there is going to take our static. So this is just what we need here for now. Okay, so this is it. I think it is time for us now to go and test and see whether our HTML is rendering successfully, including with the CSS. We just have to check whether the settings is well done. So let us just go and test it. I think we already do everything. We're supposed to do here, and that's it. So let us just go and test. Then see, I have to run my server. So my server is up and running, and I just have to refresh the page. So the start is not showing now because of my browser. This browser is crashing. So let me just jump into the incognito. It might display what we need to display. Okay, so boom, we have it. Everything is working perfectly. So here is our simple form. So we're just going to create a model that will take this input, the email, the username, the password. Forget about the confirm password. In our next class, I'm going to show you how to validate this form, but for now the aim here is for us to just send a data to the database and save it. This is all what we are going to do today. So without wasting much of our time, let us just jump into our code. Let us find what's it called, models.py, and models.py is in our yeah, everything is well set up. So you just have to send data there. I think the only inputs we need there is the email, the username, and the password. Those are the three columns we are going to create in our database. Okay, so let us just to see everything is there. Okay. Okay, so we don't have any issues with the form. So for those that are asking when did I design this form, I didn't design it right now. Okay, I just take the previous HTML that we just did last time. So I just copy it and then did like just render it. I didn't design the HTML now. Okay, I just render the previous HTML that we did. All we have to, because we don't have much time to design all this. Okay, it's something that I am sure that all of you can just do it. Okay, you can just sit down and design your form, design anything you want. It doesn't have to be email, username, and password. You can collect different kind of data. So you can collect even a simple information of the person. But the reason why we just use email, username, and password, because after I show you how to validate the form, I'm going to show you how to authenticate a user, like authenticate a user to log into a specific system. Without that access code, the user will not be able to log in. It might tell him that something like incorrect username and password. He has to log in before he can access that system. So this is just the reason why I just use username and password. But when we are going to create a full user, because this is just like it's just like sending the data. But the data, if we are going to use the Django model to authenticate a user, we have to use the user model that is already a built-in function in Django. Okay, so for now I'm just going to show you how to send the data. Just send it and save it and make sure it is inside that database. This is all we are going to do today, and in our next class we are going to just validate the form, and I will show you how to send an authentication data like username, email, password, everything. So this is just it. Yeah, so and the reason why it is telling us templates.net is this, because you are writing the wrong name, sign-p.html, so it's supposed to be sign-up.html. And the reason why I just removed the app to show you that without, even if you just missed a single name or write the name incorrectly, this is the type of error you will be expecting. Okay, so once Django is showing you that something does not exist or something like that, has to do from your template settings or rendering the page. Maybe you might miss something. Okay, and you must have to create a templates folder, and always your static files must be in a static folder. Okay, everything must be, these names that you're seeing, it's not just names that I just created. Everything has to be just where it is, the static, the templates. Okay, you just have to write them. Templates will be handling all your HTMLs, and static will be handling any external files, like anything that is not HTML or CSS, like JavaScript, CSS, images, anything that is not HTML is going to be in your static files. Okay, so I think this is it for now. So okay, login HTML, and we also have the files. Okay, so this is something that we just did in our previous class. We don't need to I don't need to explain everything inside this place. So we just have to focus on what we are going to do today. So now let us create our models. Inside our model.py, all we have to do here is to create our model. So this model, just the way I just said before in our introduction to Django, I tell you that Django is divided into three parts: the model, the views, and the controls. So the models is serving as where we are going to structure our table without using SQL statement, SQL statement. Okay, so in these models we are going to use classes, object-oriented format, to create our tables, just like the way you used to know it in database. All those tables with bunch of columns like that. So in Django you can just use classes and to create your models, which is the columns that they are going to come up from your database. Okay, but it's not necessary you must do it here. If you have like the external data, or maybe if you have the what is it called, the SQLite viewer, you can just use it. Sorry, what's it called? I even forget the name of this. It's just a software that you can view this SQLite database. So you can create the tables from that place, and they can also be communicating directly. It will serve as an external database, but for now we are not going to use external database. We are going to use the internal database, which is this. So we are going to use the what is it called, the object-oriented format to create our columns. So starting with the email, we have bunch of data types, columns with different kind of data types there. We have the character field, we have the integer, we have the integer choices, we have a lot inside this model. So the character field is just going to take the normal characters, whether it is numbers, special characters, strings, anything. This character field can take that. So, and we can also assign max length, which is 100, and the reason why I'm passing this blank is because it's true. So in case user didn't send a data, it shouldn't show us error. It should accept empty data, because in a case whereby you are registering a user, and that user once he just registers his account, like his username, his email, his password, it's not necessary at that particular time he's going to update his profile. So that means it is going to create an empty columns of what is it called, of it's going to create an empty columns of that profile. So that's why I'm just passing blank is equals to. So instead of after the user finish registering, it will just throw an error that there is a specific column that they are not supposed to be empty. So in this case I'm just passing it to be blank equals true. So here we just pass our email, and we also pass our username. Then the next one we need is our password. So I think this is just the 3 columns we need to to create our table. So we are done with it. The next thing we need to do is to just run our migrations. Okay, yeah, to just run our migrations, and whenever we run our migrations, it is going to create a new file here inside the migrations folder, whereby it is just going to create the full table for us. It's just going to create a table for us, just like we used to create your own table from the normal database, from the external database. But one thing with Django, whenever you just make changes to your model, you just have to run migrations and migrate it to just affect all the changes. Okay, so Django is a very sweet this thing to work with, especially when it comes to all this database relationship and all this stuff. So now we have created all the columns, the email, the username, the password. We are done with this. Okay, so any question from creating it in detail? Yeah, I guess so. No questions. So now let us just go and run our migrations. So whenever we just run our migrations, just take note that all those tables are going to be created inside our db.sqlite tree. And where is this db.sqlite tree came from? Once you just navigate inside our settings. Okay, come in. So once you just navigate inside our our settings, up inside our settings, you see the connection of our db.sqlite. So you see it here, the database default is the engine is going to be django.db.sqlite .backend.sqlite. Then the name is going to be base directory, the db.sqlite tree. This SQLite tree that is in our base directory is the SQLite is the database we are going to be using. So in case you are using external database, this is where you are just going to change the settings and repair your defaults to that external database. But for this one, we are going to be using the SQLite, and SQLite is very light and it's just a single file. We don't need to be moving along with any external database. Okay, so let us now jump into running our migrations. So all we have to do here is to write python manage.py, then make migrations. Okay, so python manage.py, make migrations. Yeah, make migrations. So just hit enter. So now Django is checking that we have a model to be created, which is sign up. Yeah, so since Django realized that there is a model need to be created, so once we just run our migrate, it is going to migrate everything, and it's going to even create a lot of things that we didn't even build, because this is just a fresh Django application. So there's a lot of migrations need to be run. So once we just run this migrate, it is going to migrate everything. But for the first time, you will see a lot of things migrating like this, but in the second time you're going to migrate, it's not going to be that much like this. Okay, because this it is migrating with a lot of authentication models that we are not one that create them. Okay, so this is it for now. So you see that all these things we need, they are all created. Okay, so I think so this is it. Let us just run our server. To check these tables, I already told you that there is a file that will be created, and all what is inside that file, that is inside our migrate this init.py that you are seeing is just like an auto run file. something that will be run automatically. So you see that inside our 001 initial.py is just the migration of our table. Okay, you see, including a column called ID that we are not the ones that created, and this ID is automatically assigned to a primary key, auto increment, something that will just be incrementing uniquely. Okay, so once you just delete a particular data that has a number of number one, that number one is already gone forever. So that's the essence of using. So even if I scroll it from the site, you see that it is automatically assigned to, let me scroll the screen. Yeah, so you see it is automatically assigned to a primary key. The primary key is equals to true. Okay, and serialization is equals to false. And the reason why serialization is equals to false, because once this serialize is equals to true, so if we delete one might come back. For example, if we have 1 2 3 and I delete 1, so number 2 is going to be number 1, number 3 is going to be number 2. So we don't need that. We just want a unique ID. Once an ID is gone forever. Because in a scenario whereby you will be getting different like IDs of employees or students or something like that, if the numbers are serializing, so the ID of each student might be changing time to time. So we don't want that, or a ID of any employee to be changing at any cost. We just need a unique identifier. Okay, so boss name ID we have that. So we have the auto created equals to true, we have the primary key equals to true, then serialize is equals to false. These are things that we are not the one that created. It's just when we run our migrations, that is when our Django created these things. The only thing we create there is our email and what's it called, our email, username and password. I think that's the only things we just created there. Okay, so this is it for this one. Since we have just created this, let us just jump into our, let us just check the Django administration and see what we have. And I already tell you that what Django administration is just like a dashboard built with Django. So this dashboard, this Django administration has everything that we need to work with database. But advisably it is better that you should just create your own admin dashboard, but you can just use the Django administration models to build all the necessary authentication you need, all the privileges you need, and anything you need to work with your own dashboard. But for now, we are just going to check our Django administration to see how our database is going. Okay, so but we need username and password. So to create this Django username and password, we just have to go back to our CMD and then run python manage.py create. Since we need a super user that will have full access to this Django administration, we just have to use the create super user. We have a lot of users. We have create user, create super user. We have a lot of users that you can create using the CMD using the CMD. And the reason why we are going to be using CMD to create these logins is because Django doesn't have any login here. We just have to run the command to get our own logins to log in into this admin dashboard. Okay, and the command is very simple. It's just like running migrations. So instead of running python manage.py migrate or make migrations, the only thing we have to replace there is create super user. That's the only thing we need. So python manage.py create create super user. So just hit enter. It is going to ask you to pass a username. So in this case, we are just going to pass admin. The email is going to be admin@gmail.com. Sorry, admin@gmail.com. And also the password is going to be admin, and the confirm password too, we are just going to confirm it with admin again. So Django is asking us that this this username, this password is too short to this thing, so but we just need it like this because we are not going to deploy this online, so it's not going to be online, it's just going to be working locally, so we don't need to bother to be putting a strong password or something like that. So let's just run our server. So once we just go back to our Django administration and refresh it, we just have to pass admin as the username, that is what we create, and also admin as the password because that is what we just created. So now we are into our Django administration. So but that is the model we just created is not available in the Django administration. Why? Because we just have to register it in the Django administration. So we just have to find admin.py, yeah, inside app admin.py, yes. So this is where we are going to register our Django. Okay. Yeah. So from .models, we just need to import all, just like the way we did last time. From Django sorry, I'm saying from Django, from models, import all. So this star means, this asterisk means all, anything that is inside that models.py, you should just import everything. So now the command is very simple. To register, we just have to pass admin the site dot register, then the register is like a method, so we just have to pass parentheses, sorry, not parentheses, yes, parentheses, yeah. So we just have to pass the name of our model, which is which is sign up. So as long as the model do exist in that models.py, so once you just start writing it, it is going to display. So admin.site.register, and then it's going to register our model sign up, yeah. So this is it. So we just have to refresh. Boom. Our sign up is there, you see, and we just have 0 signups. And you can also add data from this Django administration by clicking on add new sign up. So you can just let us pass just random users and passwords, to just pass numbers 27. So save. So you can see this data is saved. Okay, the data is saved. So as you can see here, you can just see sign up object, then inside parentheses there is 1. There is 1. So that is why there is a way that you can just create a function, a special variable function that you can just create inside your models. Immediately under you sign up model, you can just pass dep underscore str underscore, then inside the parentheses you pass a parameter self. So that self is going to be inheriting from our class. So once we just pass return self dot any attribute from our sign up, it is just going to display for it. But in this case, we are just going to return email. So once you just return email, you see it will just be displaying the email of those users. And you can also change it to anything you want it to display, anything you want to display there. Like we can just use format string to create something like that. Like I know we already did format string with you guys, so So this time we are not going to use and forward string is just like concatenating. So we are not going to use plus to concatenate. We are just going to use this forward string to this one. So self dot email, like this. It will look more beautiful than the way it used to be before. So you see email, then the email. So you can also add another data for us to test and see whether things are going to mark. So just save. So you see the second data is available. So now we just use Django administration to create these data and save these data. But this is not what we wanted to achieve. What we wanted to achieve is sorry guys. So what we want to achieve is to send the data from our own phone and save it to the database, and it is very simple. The way we are going to do that is once we just come back to our function that we just created, the sign up function that we just created, that is where we are going to write all the functionalities needed to handle that data and send it to the right place we wanted. Okay, so now we are going to check using if statement and check if the request we are sending is going to be first. So what do we mean here is we are going to check if the request that user is sending is a first. So it's going to go through and collect all those data and then save it inside our database. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay. Yes, I get you. So the thing there is that we have a lot of requests that users to do. We have the get requests, we have the post requests, which are the most famous requests we know. Apart from that, we have the delete requests. We have some requests there, but the requests that you guys know, I think, is post and get. And the differences between post the first and get is that get is not secured. Okay, they can all send data to the database. The only difference is there, get is not secured. In a situation whereby you are going to send a sensitive data to the database or confidential data to the database, you can use get to send those data, because get will automatically display those data in your URL. Okay, while post is not going to display anything in your URL. It's going to send the data hiddenly to the database without the user even seeing where the data is until he just check that database. Okay. So I think I have solved that data. Sorry, I'm saying I have solved that data. I'm not even trying to say. Okay. So any question again? Any question, guys? Okay, so let me just show you what I mean here. Just a quick example on how get requests used to perform this action. So imagine you are just sending a data here, or maybe let me just create a new URL for you guys to see. Let me just create a new tab. So let's say we are searching cat, for example. See, so just take a closer look here. You find out that cat that we are sending requests to get an information of that cat. So that cat, it is displaying in the URL, which is a very bad idea to sending a confidential data there. Okay, so this is how get request used to work. So in this case, we are not going to use get request, we are going to use post, because post is more secure than get request. Okay. Okay, so now if request dot method is double equals to post, so we are going to get the email is going to be request dot post. So inside this post bracket, we are going to pass the name of that input in our HTML. Okay, so we are also going to get the username, then we're also going to get the password. Password. Then we're also going to check the C password, which is the compound password. Even though we are not going to use this one for now, well, at least we should just get the input. And next time when we are going to validate the input is going to be this. So to create the user, we can just create a variable called new user. Okay, so but we have to import the model. So just like we did before, from dot models import all, import everything inside the models, which is using asterisk. So now I'm going to pass the name of the model, sign up dot objects dot create dot create. Okay, it is going to create that data. It's just like passing insert into, and you're using normal SQL statement. So now we're using ORM to pass the data. So sign up that object that create email from our database is equals to the email we are getting here from our input. Then username from our model, from our database is equals to the is equals to the password from our database. Okay. This is the data that we are going to be sending. So the next thing we need to do is call that variable use new underscore user dot save. So we're passing this save method. It's going to send the data to the corresponding columns, and then it is going to also save that data in our database. Okay, so this is just all what we need to do here, and the next thing we need to do is we have to redirect to a page, because Django in this case, it is going to, without redirecting to any page, Django is going to like try redirecting to another page, but because the response did not return anything, it is going to throw an error, but it's still going to send that data, but it's going to throw an error. So to avoid that error, we just have to redirect to another page. So in this case, we are going to redirect to the sign up page we are. So I'm passing slash because it's an empty string. We didn't specify any name for the sign up. So once we just run our server, our localhost server, it will just display that page. I think I don't even need to send this message for now. In our next class, I'll use this message class to validate the input. So going back to our sign up page, as you can see, we have all the names we are getting: name, email, username, those things. Then the most important part is the CSRF token. It is very important. Django will be throwing some errors if you didn't send this CSRF token, and it is also securing our data when it comes to sending it to database. So now let's just test this data, and then I'm just going to pass 1 2 3 4 5 7, just end. So now it is just redirecting us to the page. That means since we didn't see any error, it works. So we'll see the data. So you see the data is there, okay, and everything we just send is there. So we have achieved what we wanted to achieve today. And so, any question, guys? Any questions? Just look at the code, guys. It is very simple and very straightforward, and it is somehow this. So if you have any question, you can just drop it in the group, and I will attend to it, inshallah. So any question for now? Is there anything you need me to just clarify it for you guys? Something that it is just a little bit confusing before we just run up. Okay, so no problem. In the absence of no questions, we're just going to end the class. Okay, or maybe we're just going to stop the class in a good way. Something like ending is like destroying. So see you guys next time. Thank you.